What's up, you guys? It's your girl, Queen Boss Lady, and I'm back to do another testimony, and this is gonna be part two. So, without further ado, let's get into it. It's up to you if you guys want to like. It's up to you if you guys want to comment. You know, I don't know who have who else has gone through this or who has experienced this, but just know it's not your fault. A lot of people say that we do pick our families, and a lot of people say we don't pick our families. I feel like it's 50-50. I feel like God put me in this specific family for this very reason, to do what I'm doing right now. So, even though it wasn't the easiest, it wasn't the hardest, I'm glad I'm able to sit here before you guys today and give my testimony of how I overcame a bunch of witches and warlocks within my family. And yeah, so I went to school and I was not able to function because, for one, I was hungry. There wasn't any food in the house. I remember this one time where we were all sitting and looking at a little TV, and I could not control myself. I was never used to being hungry, and this was my, you know, fifth or sixth time like feeling these feelings. And I was just sitting there, and my sister was sitting there, my brother was sitting there, and my mother was sitting on the sofa. My mother was sitting on the sofa because my daughter's like looking at me, because probably what I just said, there wasn't no food in my house, and she's like, "Mommy, what did you go through?" So yeah, so, and they were just sitting there staring at the TV, and they had been home with me all day, and nobody had eaten anything. So I couldn't understand for the life of me. Like, I'm looking at them and I'm looking at my mom. She just keeps smoking cigarette after cigarette, blowing smoke all over our head. And I get up and I'm like, I can't take this no more. And I run in the kitchen and I open the cabinets, and it ain't nothing in the cabinets. I'm like opening up the cabinets, and I find a blue thing of salt, and I pop it open and I just pour the whole thing in my mouth, y'all. I fill my mouth up with salt. So by me doing that, I swallowed it and I went and sat down, and I swallowed again, and my little heart get the beating, y'all, and just I just vomit all over the floor, like all that salt, like I vomited all over the floor, and my sister starts laughing and pointing and laughing and picking. And so then my mom was like, "Oh, so since it's funny, look with that cigarette hanging. Oh, since it's funny, you get down there and you clean up that throw up then." So she didn't find that funny no more. She stopped laughing, and she cleaned up the throw up. And I did that numerous of times. I would say I can't take it no more. Being hungry, being neglected, my clothes being torn, it just being dark in the house, no love, no light, no laughter, no affection, no communication. Like literally, they literally walked around. They didn't say anything to each other. Nobody cracked a joke. Nobody cracked a smile. They didn't even have an iron or an ironing board. I remember one time I just couldn't take it no more, and I was trying to run away. I was trying to run back to my auntie's house, and I ran out the front door. But then it's like, boom, reality hit me. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know what street I'm on. I don't even know. I didn't even know for a while. Like, I knew at that moment that I was like in another state. Like, you gotta think, I'm a young child, so I wasn't really quite aware of, like, at the time, like, you're in a different state, but I got it after a while. Like, my aunt was in a whole nother world, is what I call it. So, and the only time they did talk, now listen, these people did not talk to each other, they did not interact with each other, but they thought it was quite cute to tell me that every day I went to sleep, I woke up with another problem. And this was before I even went into school. So I went to sleep, woke up. My mom was telling me that I'm slow, I'm mentally retarded. I went to sleep, I woke up again, and she was telling me that it just illiterate. And then one day my sister and my brother was telling me, yeah, you're slow because you put fingernail glue in your eyes and you glued your eyelids together, like that would be that's the only joke they ever cracked. And then they would laugh and they would pick at me and tell me how I'm slow and how I'm retarded because I had an accident and I put fingernail glue in my eye instead of Visine. So when I got into school, like I said, my brain had to shut down. It was not functioning like a regular child because I was hungry, I was scared, I was in fear for my life, I felt like I was in danger. I hadn't eaten, and so they put me in SLD classes because I was not interested in anything those teachers had to say. They couldn't even imagine. I love me. I really do. And I'm proud of myself for, sitting here and doing this. But they couldn't even imagine what I was going through at home. So I don't want to hear nothing you got to say, teacher. Not on top of that, I can't comprehend what you're saying right now because I'm so hungry. I cannot understand what 2 plus 2 is right now when I don't know if I'm even gonna make it home. I don't know what's gonna happen when I get home. I don't know. And when a child does not know, it's like, they're not able to function. So I got put in SLD classes because of that, and I was picked on by my family. They made even more fun of me. But it's like, why aren't you making fun at your mom who can't feed us? Why aren't you making fun of the fact that next week she's going to be gone and she's going to leave us to fend for ourselves, and CPS is going to be knocking at our door and we're going to go have to hide in the closet because we can't hide underneath the bed because the bed's on the floor, So it's like, why are y'all picking at me for being in SLD classes when the reason why I'm in the SLD classes is because all of the trauma that has been placed upon me at such a young age, and I'm not able to use my brain as far as when it comes to reading and writing. Like, that part of my brain literally shut down due to trauma. Like I say, kids, they respond differently to trauma. So by me having that impact and everything like that, like, it shut my brain down. My learning system was like shut down. But as far as like having common sense, being able to know, like, why aren't you feeding me, things like that, I was still very much aware and everything. And I just remember then it's like a dark ass cloud was following me. I just felt like a dark ass cloud was over my life. I began to get bullied at school. Not only that, like, I had this one bully that was a boy, and he used to beat my behind. Ooh, he did not hold back those punches. He did not hold back his words. He used to tear my head loose. I'm talking about, y'all, he would punch me in my neck, in my head, in my face. He would jack me up. He would throw me. He would slang me. And that happened every single day until I said, I can't take it no more. I'm not going to school. Like, my sister could not get me to go to school. I would run from her. I would run away from her until she just like, why not? And I told her, because I'm getting my ass beat every day by this boy. And luckily my mom was gone, because when my mom was there, they knew not to talk to me. They knew not to comfort me. They knew not to be there for me. They knew not to defend me in any way, shape, or form. My mother never taught us to um, take up for your brothers or sisters, be there for your brothers or sisters. She never taught us that. She taught us to always fight each other, always be jealous of each other, never show up for each other, never be there for each other, and to stay separated. That's what she taught us, and that's how she taught us. And she always taught that that my other siblings are better than me, they deserve more than me, and that they can steal from me anything that I have. If they feel entitled to it, they're more than welcome to take it. It won't be a problem. They can steal my ideas. They can steal anything they want from me, because I am just the family, you know. I keep wanting to say like sheep goat or something like that. Scapegoat or something. Scapegoat. Yeah, so she made that very clear, and that's what they would do when she was around. Like, when my mom was around, it was very, my siblings were even more treacherous to me. Um, but luckily she was gone, and my sister was like, okay, no, I'm going to handle this problem. When we get to school, I'm going to handle this problem for you. And I had never seen her, like, I call it mommy mode, you know, because you turn into that bear and you protect your cub. And I had never seen her in that mode, and I didn't really know if I could trust what she was telling me, but she sounded kind of serious. So when we got to school, she was like pointing him out, and I pointed him out, and I just remember her going up to him and her taking me with her and saying, you see her, you don't with her no more, you don't put your hands on her no more. Like, she let him have it, and then she beat his, she literally handed him his, to every lick he gave me upside my head all those weeks, all those days. She laid it on him. She laid him down, y'all. And he never bothered me again. He never messed with me again. But unfortunately my mom went to jail, and this was like, oh, I had only been with these people for about 3 months, and she had gone to jail like 3 times, but this time it was going to be a stretch. So my sister dad was, our caregiver at that time, but he wasn't any better. He was an alcoholic, so he was good in the daytime. He was a good dad. Like, he brought that laughter and that play and, around during the day, but then at night he would get drunk, and he would try to beat us, but my sister was not having it, and she would like get in the way of him beating us, and she would take those licks, and we would run from him, and and then we're running all night and trying to get away from him. So how can we get sleep for school? It was just so I'm going to make this long story short, but I'm going to tell like very important details in my testimony. So we went in, my mom did like either a year or 9 months in jail. So we went and stayed with my auntie, Jackie, and it was okay. It was okay. I just remember when my mom got out of jail, like, I thought things was gonna be different, and they was, but it's like that love and that nurturing. It's like she was just, I remember like she did a whole freaking year in jail, and she finally get out, and they pull her up, and I run to the car and hug her, and she's like, get off of me. And I just remember like my sister and my brother, they didn't even get up and run to her, because it's like, mind y'all, I wasn't with this lady for 6 years of my life. So my brother and my sister, like, They're used to my mom going to jail for 3 and 4 days. They're used to her going to jail for a week. They're used to her going to jail for 9 months. Like, it's nothing new to them. So it's like they didn't get up and embrace her. And I was just like, what? And my aunt or whoever drove her up was like, baby, let your mom adjust. Like, no one ever corrected my mom or my dad with the malicious and vicious things that they did. They just let them do whatever the hell they want to. So I'm gonna kind of skip past a lot of stuff and kind of get into the meaty, greedy things that, you know, my parents just used to do to me. My dad still, he would come over. He would so my mom, she got out of the streets. She just got out of the streets because she found a new way to be a criminal. They would run people off the road and steal their belongings and, you know, steal all their credit cards and, you know, do fraud and do you know, things like that. So it's like she stopped being a drug addict, but she continued to be a convict, a thief, a murderer. I remember one time where I had found myself again. I was able to laugh again a little bit and, you know, be hopeful that something good is going to happen in my life and something good is going to happen with my life. And once I got to that point, I just want you guys to know that I am healed, but it's like God healed me from all of this, and now he's like, I want you to tell your story, though. I want you to remember, you know, and he's giving me the grace right now to remember all these things, because do keep in mind my mom and dad would do magic on me that I would forget. It's like they would swipe out my memory. So when I get emotional, it's for the inner child in me. I want to continue every day to heal my inner child, and every day and in each and every way I'm healing my inner child, and I'm doing this because of my child. So when I got to that place where I was able to kind of smile again and laugh again, she had me molested. It was late one night. She walked me outside. She was like, come with me. And I was like, where we're going is dark. I want you guys to understand this. I never, as a child, trusted my mom. And I always questioned everything she did, even down to her food. When my mom did get off the streets and wasn't on drugs anymore, and she was able to put food on the table for us, I still didn't even trust it. I thought it was poison in it, and come to find out it was. So, I still wasn't able to eat. And I would just sit at the dinner table all night, and she would say I couldn't get up until I ate everything off my plate, and I just could not eat it. I just could not eat it. The other kids would scuffle it down, and that's because there wasn't no roots in theirs. There wasn't no poison. There wasn't no magic. And they were okay with, you know, they were in this secret society. They was a part of it, even as children, and they knew it. So, she said, come with me. And I was like, where we're going? And she was like, we're just going right here. And there was a van parked across the street of my grandmother's house. And he opened up those, you know, those old vans that the back doors, they open up like that. And he opened up the door, and she was like, you can get in there with him. He's going to give you like candy and stuff like that. And he's just going to talk to you and give you candy. And I was like, I ain't getting in there with him. And I just remember like her kind of convincing and kind of forcing me to get in there. And I believe like he pulled out a lollipop, and he was like, you know, I remember who this person is specifically. Babe, please get out the room right now. I'm talking, and what I'm saying is not for kids' ears. Please don't do that again. Okay, thank you. I'll be done in a minute. they they haven't heard me give my testimony, and that's important, because that played a big role in why I'm sitting in front of this camera right now. I just remember getting in the van, and I just remember like him trying to touch me down there, and I was just like not having it. It was a lot of movement. It was a lot of fighting. I fought, and that's what I remember. I don't remember being penetrated. I don't remember, you know, and that's all I remember. So I'm not gonna make up anything that I don't remember, but I do remember her putting me in a van with, a grown predator man, and me being, violated. Even if it was just him putting his hands down in my pants, it did something, and it activated something within me very fast. And that was her trying to put the spirit of Jezebel on me at a very young age. And so I would do things. I would hump, because I was touched. And my family would pick on me about that. It's like they would cause pain, cause trauma, and then pick on me about the pain and the trauma that's caused. Like, that's what my mom would do my whole life: cause pain, cause trauma, and then pick on me about it and talk bad about me to the family. And she sold me to my auntie. She sold me to my aunt. My aunt had a daughter, and every time I go to my cousin's house, that's what she would do. She would hump me. Like, even if I didn't want to, it was like pretty much rape at this point. She would hump me. And it's like her mom knew she was in there humping on me and never did anything, never said anything. They would have me going to the root doctor with them, the voodoo priest with them, and they would be getting voodoo stuff and little stuff from the root people to, so the police won't bother you while you're transporting drugs, or, they won't search your car, they won't pull you over, but they would make me touch it, or, they would mysteriously forget it in the car, right? And instead of my auntie telling her daughter to go and get it out of the car, they would send me to get it, or, things like that. And, So I do remember even my dad taking me to a reader at a young age once we moved out of my grandma's house. And so that was going on, and I was still just trying to really still believe that something good was going to happen in my life, and something good was going to happen for me. My dad had no relationship with us, me and my little brother. He would act like we were invisible. When he came to the home, he did not address us. He didn't say, "Hey kids, hey girls, hey son." He would walk right past us like he didn't know us, and him and my mom would go in the room and have sex, and then he would get in his car and leave. And they did this. This is what they would do. It's like, even as a child, they would do evil, malicious, until I would say, like, what is y'all problem? Like, you walk past us like you don't even know us. And at this time, I'm like 9 or 10 years old, still being humped on by my freaking cousin, until I said, no, I'm not going over there no more. Like, I'm done going over there. Once I said that, it's like, they'll do stuff so that you won't be on to them. So he would still do the same thing. He would come in the house, him and my mom would go in the room, have sex, and then he would come out. He'll be like, okay, I'm gonna take you out to the store, and he would drive us right there to the corner store, which was like 5 minutes up the road. And he would say, okay, y'all can pick out any candy y'all want, and me and my brother would, get a bag of candy, and he would take us home and drop us back off. And then, so he started doing that, but that was it. As far as taking us to his mom's house, his grandma's house, or anything like that, like, we never met his side of the family. I never met my uncles. I never met my aunties on his side, my cousins, my family or anything like that. And so he would bring this special friend, and I call him a special friend, Mr. Bobby. And anybody that corrects these people, or they see that I'm being treated a certain way, they murder them. Okay. So Mr. Bobby noticed what was going on, and he pulled my dad to the side one day, and he was like, "Man, I noticed you don't never hug your kids, man." He said, "Man, that's your only girl. You don't never hug her. You don't never, He said, "I got a daughter," because I'm eavesdropping, y'all. I'm listening like, he said, "Man, that's the best feeling in the world as a dad. To have your daughter just wrap their little arms around your little neck." And my dad reply was, "I don't know what to do with the girl. I don't know what to," he said, "Well, I don't never see you hug your son either." And God bless the dad. Mr. Bobby was like, "Just try it." My dad and my mom, they should have been actors. They're the best actors in the world. And I give credit where credit is due. I'm not ashamed to do that. They are some very good actors. They will sit there and smile in your face like, "Yeah, okay, I'll give it a try." But in the back of his mind, he's like, "I'm going to this nigga up. I'ma soup this nigga up," is what I'm getting right now. And that's what he did. He gave us a hug for the first time after, okay, so 7, 8, 9, 10. So for the last 4 years of my life, I've been seeing this man. I never hugged him. For the last 4 years, all I see my dad do is come to the house, go in the room with my mom, have sex, and leave. That's all I've ever seen. But now we're getting a hug. So we hug him, and he's like, "Yeah, that do feel good. Yeah, that do feel good." I promise you guys not. The next time my dad came to my house, I was like so excited because Mr. Bobby had started coming frequently with my dad. And it's like he would take up that time with me and my siblings, just talk to us and laugh with us, and just to have that male energy that's genuine, not a freaking perv, or while my mom and dad is in the room sexing. Then next time I'm like, "Where's Mr. Bobby? Where's Mr. Bobby?" "Oh, Mr. Bobby died of cancer." Y'all, the man really just checked out just like that. But it wasn't that. My dad did some magic on him. My dad did some spells on him, and he went to the doctor, and what do you know, he has like the last stage of cancer, and he like checked out just that fast. But it was my dad doing. So that's pretty much how my life went. I was like I say, I'm like 9, 10. I'm like 10, 11 now at this time. So I'm in, elementary school. I'm still battling with like depression and, what I known as a learning disability, but I didn't know, behind my back, my mom and my dad was telling everybody that me and my brother was mentally retarded. We were, we needed special needs, and we was slobbing out the mouth. You know how people are special, like mentally retarded. Like that's what she was. So that's why, and we were meant to be sacrifices. That's why we were never, he never brung us around his immediate family, because we were like the two secret mentally retarded children that they were eventually going to sacrifice. And I just remember that I was very athletic. I played every sports in elementary school. I played volleyball, I played soccer, I did track, and I played baseball. And I made every team, and I was number one on every team. And I remember my mom and my dad never coming to any of my games, not one. She wouldn't even pack me a lunch. I had to eat a school lunch. on days that we would go on our track meets or our volleyball meets or whatever. But I remember this one particular time, my brother, made the basketball team, and she packed up the whole family, and then she looked at me and she was like, "No, you can't go. I wasn't on punishment. I hadn't been disobedient. I hadn't done anything defiant." And that's what she would do. She would ensure me, like, this is how your life is going to be. You're going to be punished for no reason. You're going to be talked about. You're going to be outcasted. You're going to be touched and groped in, promiscuous ways. Like, she was grooming me, you know, for the life that she wanted me to have. Anybody that had a listening ear, I was just a disrespectful child. I was rebellious, like in elementary school, like, and these people would like sit there and listen. They would listen to my mom, and they would stay away from me, and they would think I was a defiant child. And really, you know, um, my sister became, over abusive throughout the years, and my mom would allow it. If I wouldn't listen to her, she would beat me severely. It would be just small little things. I remember one time I wasn't mopping how she wanted me to mop, and she snatched the mop from me and cracked me over the top of my head. I still have the scar on the top of my head to prove it. And I thought I was dead, y'all, because the way I literally blacked out. Like, she would give me blows to where I would black out. And I blacked out, and she did not care, y'all. No compassion, no sympathy, no mercy, nothing. And when I got myself together and tried to stand up, my legs were weak up underneath me. And when I did stand up, she shoved the mop right back in my face, like, finish mopping, bitch. Like, you think just because you got cracked over the head, like, you ain't gonna finish the job? Like, get the cleaning, bitch. Like, so I just, I kept my distance from her, really tried to stay away. But whenever she just felt like making up something, she would just beat my ass severely. I remember one day when I couldn't take it no more, I ran away from my sister. My mom was gone. My mom would deliberately leave me home in hopes that my siblings would, take me out, because my sister would never hit me while my mom was home. It was every time my mom would leave. And I remember this specific day, like, I begged my mom to not leave me. And she just looked at me with that cigarette hanger, girl, bye. And or I asked her, could I come with her? And she was just like, hell no. And I remember running out the house and running to my mom's friend's house and banging on the door. And when she opened the door, I just ran in, and I slammed this lady door closed in my sister's face. She was trying her best. And I was like, you gotta help me. You gotta save me. She crazy. She keep beating on me. She keep beating on me. She keep beating on me. And once my sister like got away from the door or whatever, she didn't open the door for her. She was beating on her door. So once my sister like calmed down from beating on this lady door, my mom friend did go outside and was like talking to her and stuff like that. And my sister just had the same story that my mom had. I was a disrespectful child. I was being defiant. I wasn't listening to her rules and things like that, when really like just her looking at me would cause her to fuck me up. So like, I thought my sister had walked home because she tricked me. I didn't hear my sister's voice no more. So I opened the door and I peeked my head out the door, and she snatched me by the top of my head and drug me all the way home. Nobody stopped her. The lady didn't even stop her. Nobody called DCF, CPS, CSI, FBI. Nobody called nothing. Nobody did nothing. Nobody helped me. Nobody saved me or whatever. So that was pretty much my life growing up with these people. As we got older, you know, my mom just reassured them, hey, if she has something that you want, it's like she wouldn't tell my siblings this, but she would make it okay. Like, if my brother stole something from me, And I told her, she would be like, that ain't got nothing to do with me. She would not correct my brother. She would not correct him. She would just let him run around, steal, do certain things, lie, and everything like that. So it's just like things got worse and worse and worse. And I'm going to get into part 3 as to, how she tried to unalive me. My dad was still just doing sneaky, conniving stuff, just disowning me. In part 3, I'm going to get into like me being an adult dealing with my dad.